This episode of The Rookie Hunter is sponsored by North Arm Knives. North Arm Knives are handcrafted and sold directly through a father and son team right here in British Columbia. Choose from a selection of outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and the brand new folding knife from NorthArmKnives.com. They ship internationally and guarantee all their work. Callie and I use their products and give them our stamp of approval. Go to NorthArmKnives.com. Hey guys, welcome to episode 28 of The Rookie Hunter. So it might seem a bit early, but now is a good time to start planning for your 2017 hunting season. And that's exactly what you're going to hear in this episode, is just Kelly and I kind of going over some of our options and what we want to do. So you'll get a bit of a sneak peek at what's in store for us for 2017. As usual, if you guys want to help us out, there's a couple things you can do. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or through your favorite podcast provider. And you can also leave us a rating or review. And we're finally starting to get some more reviews in the States, which is great to see. So to any of our American listeners, please go to your iTunes store, leave us a rating or review, and that helps us out big time. If you want to get in touch with us, go to our website. It's therookieHunter.com. If you go to our contact page, there's a form there. You can send us an email that way, or you can send an email to therookieHunterPodcast@gmail.com. So let's leave it short. You guys know what to do. Sit back, relax, crack a cold beer, enjoy episode 28 of The Rookie Hunter. Lanky Lilo.
How's it going? Chips Lederbean.
I'm doing well. You?
Pretty good.
It's good. So last episode was Cody Rich. I had a lot of fun chatting with him.
Yeah, that was a good conversation. It's nice to finally meet him.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully some of you guys went and checked out his podcast. Yeah, it's one of our favorites. And like the cool thing about, so there's the Rich Outdoors podcast. Hunt Backcountry is another one of my favorites. And it's kind of sort of along the same lines, but it's like there's always going to be something in there that interests you, and there might be some things that don't. But that's the beauty of it. There's something for everybody with those podcasts, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely subscribe to Rich Outdoors. And I was looking at the his ratings and reviews in the American store, and he's got like close to 300, so he's doing all right there. Mm-hmm. But some of you Canadian guys, give him some ratings and reviews up here, because that goes a long way for podcasters. So do that, and you can do that for us too. And please subscribe to our podcast. That's another way to help us out. iTunes is a mysterious thing, but those are the things that help us get more exposure in iTunes. So we do appreciate it. Kel, we've got a special guest today. Who is it?
My buddy Norris. I just posted a photo today, but yeah, Bree and I got a puppy a few weeks ago.
I can
so
feel
he's
him
just
at my
chilling.
feet.
Yeah, he's just sitting by your feet there. He's about 12 weeks old.
He's a pretty good dog.
Yeah. He's a Woodle, which is a Wheaton and a standard poodle mix,
Yeah.
but he's black. He kind of looks like a little black bear right now.
I think he's going to be pretty big, man.
Yeah.
Well, decent size anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get something like a pointer or
Yeah.
something like that, but those, I don't know.
High energy dogs, man.
Yeah.
And both you guys work full time. It makes it hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I say if somebody's interested in one of those kind of dogs, but they're worried about the amount of time they have, like trying to adopt one would be the way to go. So if you got like a Weimaraner, a short-haired pointer, any of those kinds, like a Vizsla, super high energy dogs. But if you can find one that's like a year and a half old, that's already kind of, set in its ways and well behaved and easier to take care of. It's hard to raise a pup though, man. You got to have a lot of time for him.
Oh yeah, he's a handful right now.
He's pretty good.
He sleeps quite a bit. He's kind of like, he was an hour on, an hour off for quite a while.
Yeah.
Now he's stretching that out a little bit, but yeah, you got to have a schedule with him, especially for the first couple weeks.
Totally.
But yeah, he's been good so far. This is the first time he's met Oscar.
Yeah. So I'm sure
the Weimaraner.
Long-time listeners, I'm sure are used to hearing Oscar jingling in the background with his collar. But I think we'll probably have 2 dogs here for most occasions here. So
Yeah.
yeah, nice to have another dog around, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we didn't get to all of our emails last time. I thought we'd just read 2 more.
Sure.
Because we do like getting them. I'll take the first one here, Cal. Came from Cameron Fox. Kind of a cool story. He's actually pursuing a career in the CFL. So he's at the University of Manitoba right now, playing football. So that's pretty cool. And he said he grew up fishing his whole life in southern Alberta reservoirs, Kananaskis, and also in Creston area in the Kootenays, which is kind of close to where Kelly and I grew up. So that's cool. But he's been a long time listener. It sounds like he's actually been listening since the very beginning, and he's into hunting. So we've kind of been helping him as mentors, which is kind of funny to hear. But I guess this does help people out because they get to learn from our mistakes. So that's good to hear. But yeah, he said he was hunting for whitetail in eastern Manitoba in the Canadian Shield. Spent a lot of time, got close, but wasn't able to pull the trigger. So we know how that feels. It's kind of part of it. But the main thing is you're seeing stuff and
Whitetails?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know how that feels too. It's hard hunting whitetails if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or if you're just getting starting, or even if you're in it seems like you have to be in a perfect location to hunt whitetails.
Totally.
Otherwise it could be extremely hard.
It was our first season. It was the last day of rifle season, and I spooked a beautiful whitetail buck, man. Like I can still picture that thing in my head running away. And
Well,
when
even the first one I saw when I called it in and saw it at 30 yards and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
ran away, the thing was a 4 or 5 pointer.
the thing with that I found, anyways, I don't know if this is true for all mule deer, but when we got into mule deer this year, seems like you can spook them, but you can kind of catch up to them because they'll go to the next ridge and they'll hide kind of the next little basin. So
Yeah.
they take off pretty quick, but I think they feel like they can leave people behind pretty fast, and they get comfortable again in the next little basin over. And you and I were always able to kind of catch up to them, which is
I feel like they're curious.
they are a bit curious. And like
Yeah.
when I got my 4-point, Oscar was with me, and that thing didn't know. But when you got yours, Oscar was with us as well.
Yeah.
And Oscar, he's really good when he hunts with me, but when there's 2 people involved and we split up, he doesn't like that. He gets like a bit of separation anxiety. So
Yeah.
I stayed on the spotting scope. You went down to kind of line up for a shot. Oscar was going ape shit, and that mule deer that you got was just curious. He didn't seem to care at all. He was looking
Yeah, he
down.
knew I was there.
And we were almost in a way trying to scare that thing away. Like if it takes off, then whatever.
Yeah.
Like we got this chance. If it takes off, we know there's going to be more opportunities. But
Yeah. Well, if you were to film what I was doing, trying to get into a shooting spot and a position, I would not have posted that video as this is how you're supposed to hunt and get into a shooting position, right? And like you said, almost trying to sabotage myself just because we had so many options that day.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of like right in front of us, and it was
for sure.
It was a decent sized
And
deer.
he just hung out.
He hung out
bedded
long
down
enough
for a bit, and it was crazy. So it's like, well, this one seems a bit dumb, so it's probably not going to last that long in the wilderness anyway. So we might
This
as
one
well.
was meant to be.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks, Cameron, and good luck next season or this coming season. So thanks for sending us an email. Cal, what do you got?
We had an email from John in Minneapolis.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Americans.
nice to hear from him, and he said he's enjoying the show, and he his favorite episode was number 23 with Randy Workman.
Oh, don't tell Randy.
Yeah, we don't want to get him too high up on his horse there, but no, he just said he had great stories, and it reminded him of hanging out with his uncle.
Oh, cool.
So that's good to hear. And he also said congratulations on our sponsor. and that he was going to try to find an excuse to buy a knife or two from
nice.
North Arm. So I'm sure they'll be happy to hear
Yeah,
that.
you know, it's cool if yeah, I know a lot of guys have reached out to us and said that they were either buying one or looking into it. But when you go to North Arm Knives and you do buy a knife, I think they've now got a little tab that says, "Where did you hear about us?" And Rookie Hunter Podcast is on there. We're down at the bottom. So if you guys do go ahead and pick up one of their knives, and I highly recommend it, make sure that you put us in there so they know that it's come from us. It's just a good thing, so they know they're getting some traffic from us. So that's cool. What we're talking about, the knives, Cal. I've used I got the Alder kitchen knife. I've used it like crazy. I finally had to sharpen it last week, and it was getting pretty dull. Because we got it right around Christmas time there, so we're using it a ton. But I've just got a sharpening stone. I just ran it along there a couple times, and it's like super sharp again. That thing's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I've never really had a good knife like that.
Makes a huge difference.
Oh man,
It's actually safer to use a sharper knife in the kitchen than a dull one.
definitely.
Slipping on a tomato, you should be able to just slice
Yeah,
right
you
through
should see, like with tomatoes, you just like put the knife on there and you just sort of glide it forward and it cuts through like butter. It's sweet. And then meat and everything, man, it's great. I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor, and we wouldn't bring them on as a sponsor if we didn't think they had great stuff. So
Yep.
you've got the
And
links.
I've got the Lynx, and it's a great knife all around, like a camp knife, hunting knife.
Yeah.
If you got to cut through some thick hide, like elk hide. I have what was I using? Havalon
Right.
knife, right? And that's great for skinning, and it is a good all-around knife. But if you're trying to get back straps out of an elk or
you
cut through hide, I
broke
actually
a
snapped
blade.
a couple blades
Yeah.
off. So it was leaving a bit to be desired in that part of the hunt. So
Mike from North Arm Knives, he was telling us, like, with the Lynx, you should be able to get through a whole animal without having to sharpen the thing.
yeah, and it's super sharp.
We found out later that those sharpeners that we have that you sort of just run your knife through, I don't know what those are called actually, but Mike was saying those are brutal for your knives, so don't use those.
Just the pull through sharpeners.
But we, like with the elk, we had to sharpen. Everybody was sharpening like it
Yeah.
seemed like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you get a proper knife like the Lynx they have, you should only have to, make sure it's sharp before you get started.
Yep.
And then by the end of it, it should still be cruising along. So
Yeah, it's good steel.
anyways, I really recommend it. They're, yeah.
You know what I'd like to check out from North Arm is their fillet knife.
Yeah.
Once spring rolls in here, I'll be going over and doing a bunch of kokanee fishing, and hopefully we'll do some fly fishing. We can talk about our plan this year.
For sure.
But to have a good fillet knife, that's key.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet. So yeah, make sure you guys check them out and make sure you let them know that we sent you over there. Might be some cool things coming up with us in North Arm. We'll keep you posted on that. Was there anything else in that email?
No, that was it.
Cool.
So yeah, it's just good to hear from our American listeners,
Yeah.
which we do have a few reviews in the American iTunes store as well.
Sweet. What do we give a couple shout outs?
Yeah, we got Bomber98. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Airborne Ranger Sniper Hunter.
Nice.
First and... What does that say?
I don't know. I don't have it.
First and Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Good job.
Fail. Josh Jitsu.
Sweet.
I think that's it.
And the other review we had in the American iTunes store was Mountain Hunter 86, which we found out was actually Cody Rich. He left that one for us.
Nice.
So thanks, Cody. I forgot to thank him. I was going to bring that up, but that's pretty sweet. So I know I keep saying this, but please do it if you have a chance. It helps us out. When we read them, we just like to hear what you guys think of the show. So thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Kel, I posted a link to this, and I thought it was cool because I think bison are pretty amazing animals, and they damn near got wiped off the map, basically. It's in North America.
Yeah, I think most of them ended up in private land, right? Like people almost owned herds of them at this point.
Yeah. So on February 1st, Plains bison were transferred from Elk Island National Park east of Edmonton to Panther Valley in Banff National Park. So they're making an effort to bring these animals back into these protected areas. And there's actually a really cool video that shows the whole thing of them like loading them into these like sea containers, bringing them in on all these trucks with like the Parks Canada logo on them. And then they actually had a helicopter that came in and pulled the containers off the trucks. And then they lined them all up, put them down, and then opened up all the doors at the same time. And all these bison came running out. So
Nice.
if I remember correctly, I was going to make notes here, but I think they're actually in a enclosed area for the time being, as they just get used to introducing them. And I think a lot of these cows are actually pregnant, so they're ready to reproduce and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see, I don't know, 15, 20 years from now, how these populations are doing. So it's really cool to see. And I think, you know, a lot of money for these types of programs obviously comes from the parks programs, I'm sure, but I bet you hunters have a good contribution to that as well. So anyways, I
I
just
couldn't
thought that was
imagine
kinda
seeing
cool.
an animal like that just roaming around free,
They look prehistoric,
just
man.
stumbling across a bison.
Yeah, wild.
It's just something that most of us have never experienced unless you're hanging around up north.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's an awesome story.
Cal, I thought we haven't really talked about this, and I know Cody asked us what our plans were. Well, we asked him what his were too for 2017, as far as hunts we want to do, goals we have, as far as fitness and stuff like that. Actually, we can start with that. Cal, you signed up for Mountain Equipment Co-op. It's a Canadian company. It's like REI, right? Or what's the American one? Not REI.
Yeah, I think it is
Oh,
REI.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same deal.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're pro hunting, but that's another
They're not.
conversation.
So yeah, I wasn't gonna get into that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, they organize these runs. I think there's 5 of them, and they try and make them accessible as far as like price wise. So there's 5 of them. I sent you the link, and you ended up signing up to do 5 runs.
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
like a value pass. So you sign up early, and it's like you said, it's good motivation.
Yeah.
You kind of throw your name in the hat, and you're set up for 5 runs through the year. The first one's April 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I signed up for a 5K April 2nd, and then the other 4 runs are going to be 10Ks.
Nice.
So I didn't want to jump right into the 10K.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
I know
way
I can
to-
do 5.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Trust
Yeah.
me. You probably finish. You'll be like, oh, I probably could have done
10.
10.
Just
but-
keep going.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Go.
trail runs too.
Yeah.
So half of them, I believe 2 out of the 5 or something like that are trail runs.
Cool.
So like Rose Valley, which is close to Kelowna here. And
Yep.
some, basically they're well-maintained hiking trails. So
For sure. Yeah, so I'm probably going to do some of those. The reason why I didn't sign up was originally the one that's on April 2nd, they had slotted for April 9th. And I wanted to do a 10K in Oliver. That's the one I did last year. That was my first official run that I did. But tomorrow, which is, we're going to be releasing this podcast later next week, but February 12th, I'm running a 10K in Lavington tomorrow,
nice.
which should be interesting. That's up east of Vernon here.
Yeah.
And I started training again, which felt great. Like the routine of running is something I really started to enjoy. And it's, I like the idea of running in the morning, but I just can't get myself out of bed to do that, especially when it's winter and it's dark. But now what I've been doing is when I get home from work or whatever, by the time I'm settled, it's usually around 8:30, and that's when I'll go for a run late at night. And I just throw my earbuds in, throw some tunes on, and it's just you and the pavement.
And your podcast.
Exactly. Or yeah, music or a podcast, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Tend to switch it up. But it's almost like therapeutic in the way. It's like
I don't know, man. It's just nice to get out on your own, and it's relaxing in a way.
Yeah, and there's so many good, like, just to go back to podcasts, there's so many good ones. And a lot of people, you don't have a lot of time in the day to really sit down and listen to a podcast. So it's a win-win. You get, if you're listening to good podcasts, you get good information, you learn something, and then you get to have some exercise.
For sure.
I love that aspect of it.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny because Ashley's always been into running, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come with you," and she's like, "No, it's like I like to do this on my own." I didn't really get why she'd never want to run with me. Now I get it. It's just kind of your own thing. You run your own pace. You know, if you set a goal and you say you want to run 6 kilometers or something like that, and you get to that 6K point, you're like, "I still feel good." Then you go run another 2 kilometers or something, you know what I mean? You don't have to rely on the other person, or I don't know. And it's just, like I said, it's just a nice way to unwind at the end of a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, these signing up for a bunch of races like that, I think it's great because it forces you just to get out there on a day to day, right?
sure.
And that's it's not the 5 races, it's the stuff in between
Yep.
that changes your life and keeps you healthy. So
For sure, man. It just makes you feel good, and I sleep better and everything too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like if you don't exercise, you kind of get into a funk, right?
For sure.
And then it's even harder to start exercising. But once you
Totally.
start exercising, it's like an addiction. And then
Definitely
you start
is.
swinging it the other way. But I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got this run tomorrow, and I'd been training again, feeling really good. But I picked up this bloody cold again that's been going around, man. So, like, this last week, I've just felt like total shit and haven't been running just because of that. Well, if I push myself, I'm probably going to end up being more sick. So,
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm kind of going, not feeling as prepared as I want to be. But Ashley's running it too, and so is Jesse, and they both been. Actually, I think Jesse's really sick, so we're all kind of in the same boat. And I'm
I
feeling
bet you everybody there will
Yeah.
be sick.
So, anyways, man, I'm just gonna do my best. I just want to run the whole thing again and
Yeah.
see if I can.
Which one? How long is that?
10 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that one, and then I'm gonna do the one on the second with you. Maybe I'll just run the 5K.
Yeah.
Because there's also a 10K the weekend after, which falls right on my
Oh, okay.
birthday, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
might be fun.
Yeah.
That one's in Oliver. That same weekend, it's our birthday weekend, which always seems to have like tons of fun stuff going on.
Tons of drinks and food.
Yeah. We won't say too much at this point, but Kelly and I are definitely going to be at the BC Interior Sportsman Show on the Saturday.
Yeah. And
We're
that's in Kelowna.
Yeah, we're going to be there all day long. So any of you guys that are local to the area, you're going to see us there. We won't be hard to find. So come out and say hi and shoot the shit for a while. Should be a lot of fun. So we'll be announcing more details about who's going to be there and how you can get tickets and maybe get some free ones too. We'll see what happens. But keep checking back for that. We're excited about this year's event, so we'll keep you posted on that one. But yeah, if you're in the area,
It's going to come quick too.
yeah, it is. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. That kind of covers all that stuff as far as hunting goes, Cal. What the hell are we going to do this year?
Yeah. Well, what is it? Mid-February, we got fishing that's going to be open, Kokanee anyways,
Yeah.
in March.
Nice.
And I love just every weekend going one day at least
Yeah.
and bringing in some Kokanee.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy.
So there's that. But like we said last year, I don't think we did as much fly fishing as we wanted to.
No, I didn't even get my fly rod out. I got
No.
one here now, but
So I think we really got to do that because it's amazing when you're up there and you throw a camp up and
yeah.
get up in early morning when the first sun's coming up. And yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
So we got to try to do a little bit of that. And there's the black bear hunt as well.
Yep.
So I don't know, what are you feeling with black bear this year? Like, do you want to dedicate that much time to it,
No,
or
not
do you want to
really.
make it like a periphery thing? Like, if you see a black bear, let's go get it.
If a black bear presents itself,
Yeah.
then that's it. But yeah, I don't want to put in as much time as we did last year, even though it was great. Like, we saw lots of stuff.
Well, we had the quad too,
Yeah.
right? So we had an excuse just to go out anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what, man? I almost feel like if we just say forget it, always have our rifles with us, buy a tag, obviously. and focus more on fishing, maybe we're just going to see a black bear while we're fishing.
Yeah, like fishing / scouting and discovering new areas.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much guarantee we're going to stumble across a black bear at one point.
Yeah. So I guess we're on the same page of that. The only thing I was going to say is if we really wanted to try and get a black bear, would be to go back to the Kootenays.
Yeah, I agree.
They're like
I agree.
ravens out there, man. They're all over the place. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I don't really see that happening. So let's just focus on fishing.
Well,
And,
the other thing too is turkey, right?
I was going to bring that up
so-
next. Yeah.
You could like we could talk to Randy and try to wrap together a turkey / black bear thing, and he can help us out maybe with the locations and
Yeah. You know what, man? My mom called me when I was on the way to the studio here, and she was not walking her dog, Norman, and she's like, oh, shit, there's a turkey right there. Like, the turkeys are all over back there,
Oh yeah.
and they're almost becoming a problem. So
Yeah.
I think some people will probably be thankful we came and got rid of a few of them.
Yeah.
So let's think about that one.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a buddy out in that way too
Yeah.
that has offered that we can use his private land, and there's turkeys all over the place. He said, wait 10 minutes, you'll get a turkey. And he's got elk that go through there too.
What do you want to use, bow or 22?
I don't know. I think just because I've never got a turkey, I'd probably want to bring the shotguns.
The shotguns, yeah.
But I'd love to get one with a bow too.
Yeah.
I just want to like actually get one.
Think you could take one out? I'm sure you could with the 22, eh?
Yeah, you can with the 22, but
Nice.
you got to try to headshot them
Yeah.
because the body. It's hard to tell where the vitals are when they're all
Right.
puffed up.
Get the 22s out. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. I love that little 22 I got. I got a Ruger 1022.
Yeah.
with
22s
a,
are fun, man, just because they're light.
Yeah, I
They
put a
don't
Picatinny rail on
kick.
top with the little
Yeah.
scope. It's awesome.
It's pretty sweet. And yeah, they're not that loud either. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to wear hearing protection to fire those off a few times.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I'm I like to still go rabbit hunting in the snow,
Yeah, me
but
too.
we haven't had a chance to do that.
No, I haven't
So-
even gone cross country skiing this year, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
been a weird winter.
Yeah. It's funny how things just keep stacking up, but
Yeah, it's not a matter of being lazy. It's just kind of how it's worked out.
yep, sometimes it just happens that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are all on the menu as possible options.
Yeah. What else we got?
Grizzly bear.
So that's late spring,
Yeah. So
early summer.
Garrett and I applied for shared hunt
Mhm.
or a group hunt. I can't remember what the difference is, anyways. But the draw to submit just closed, I think, yesterday, actually. So I have no idea how long it's going to take them to draw these tags, but spring hunt isn't that far away, so it should
Yeah.
be within a couple of weeks here, I'd imagine.
That
'Cause
soon,
it's,
you think?
Well, when does it start? Bear hunt.
Just like general black
Yeah.
bear. I think it was March or
March.
April, isn't it?
I think
March.
Is it March or is it? I think it's March, man. Anyways,
I'll
I should have
double-check
checked
in the
this out.
background here.
I think the spring grizzly bear starts at the same time, so they better let us know. But anyways, we're shooting for maybe the May long weekend or first week of June or something like that,
hmm
just so that the snow melts a little bit. I won't disclose the area that we're going to go, but we also have to find out if we were successful first. So there's an option that Garrett and I will just get one draw. And if there's unfilled draws in that same area, then we'll both actually get one.
April 1st
April 1st. So that's
in
not
the
that-
Okanagan.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's the same in Region 4, which is the Kootenays.
Yeah, likely.
But yeah, April.
That's for black bear?
Yep.
Okay. Why was I thinking March? Getting ahead of
March
myself.
is just wolf and cougar.
Okay. Never mind then. It's a good thing for hunt, buddy.
My brother-in-law, he's over in Alberta,
Yeah.
and he works up north sometimes, and he sent me some pictures of a lynx that was following him around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is pretty.
Wow.
It was sweet. Like the pictures were, he was just snapping pictures right outside the truck.
Holy.
He's got the big feet and
Yeah.
little things on the ears. You don't get to see them very often.
I've only seen a couple.
Yeah.
We saw one on the side of the road, actually. I was on the way back to Kootenays a couple of years ago. I don't know if there was a kill on the side of the road, but he was just perched there, just kind of hanging out. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess we'll hopefully find out soon with the results of that one.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be an interesting one, especially if we get one.
So you had to apply in a certain region, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And that region is where we got the elk?
yeah,
Okay.
because we know they're there.
That we do.
Yeah, yeah, that's an area we know that the numbers are pretty high,
Yeah.
and actually the odds were pretty good for that area for draw.
Yeah.
So, do you think you're gonna make it?
I will try it as hard as I can to make it.
I don't know how long Garrett's wanting to go, but I'm thinking just like the long weekend would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I
And,
mean, that's the thing is I would rather save as much vacation as I can for later on when it's like a mountain goat hunt or an elk hunt or something like that.
So if we took the Friday off, left like even Thursday afternoon or something.
Yeah.
Like
If it's
after
like
work?
a bookended weekend,
Yeah.
I could probably run that for sure.
Oh, you just sent me the photo. Didn't have my ringer off. Yeah, so if we got there Thursday evening, and then we'd have until Monday evening, basically, to figure things out. And what I'm thinking, Cal, is the trail system. There's a trail that leads from one side, goes to the other.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking is we park your vehicle on one end, another one on the other side, and do a multi-day backpacking trip and just keep going along there and look for mountain goats too.
That'd be unreal.
So,
So
again,
basically you're camping out on the Alpine
yeah,
the whole time.
yeah.
So that'll have to be a later.
That's why I'm
Hunt,
thinking
right?
it depends on the weather. But somebody reached out to us on the forums there and said that they knew the Kootenay area and said that by that time it was pretty good actually. It just depends on the melt. So
Yeah.
if we get lucky, we'll plan for May long. Otherwise, it's going to have to be June.
For sure.
So, anyways, to be determined. But that'd be cool to do a couple days backpacking,
Oh yeah.
one end to the other.
Amazing area.
Yeah, and then that'll give us a better idea of sort of the lay of the land there,
Yeah.
and where we want to focus our efforts for either mountain goat or for elk.
I'm bringing my camera.
Yeah, for sure. So that'd be pretty fun. And then that's when all the meal planning starts and
Mm-hmm.
all the gear. Man, I love that part.
Mm-hmm.
Just laying out all my gear and making an Excel sheet with all the stuff. And
Yeah. I would imagine that the chances of you guys being successful on that draw are pretty high,
I think so.
right? Because the fact is that grizzly bear, they need to be managed in BC.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there are a ton of people that are out there doing it. So
I don't think so, man.
it's not like you're competing with thousands of people over a goat tag, right?
Nope. And this is where it comes into back to the whole wolf conversation is I'm part of the problem, you're part of the problem. We're not managing those predators, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
And
And yeah, like there's short-term management and long-term management.
yeah,
Long-term management is why are we giving away so much habitat? Why are we letting X companies go in and do whatever? And the short-term management is we're in a position now because of X, Y, and Z, which have already happened. So we
Yeah.
have to do the short-term management, which is like no bag limits and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, we got to take advantage of that. Some of that stuff might help everybody out later if more people just went out and hunted them
it's true.
instead of spending everybody's tax dollars on like cull efforts and stuff. Right?
Yeah, I'm starting to come around to it, man. It took a while, not gonna
Yeah.
lie. But
I read some interesting stories about coyotes and just the fact that they're relentless on fawns and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
the wolves go for the bigger ones, but the coyotes
Yeah.
are going for the little guys.
I don't know. I mean, you kill a coyote and you save a bunch of fawns. It's a tough subject. We've talked about that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I tend to agree.
I was damn close to shooting that coyote when we got the doe the second year.
Yeah.
Remember you went down to the truck and that thing
Yeah.
came out of left field and was yelping and stuff like that. And it was probably only, I don't know, 80 yards away, if that.
Mhm.
I was ready to drop one.
Probably would now.
Yeah. Couldn't quite see him though. Knew he was there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that'll be a cool hunt, man. And I think, like I said, it'll be a good chance to scout that area because we're still getting to know it. And if that's an area we want to keep going back to, which I think we all do,
Hmm.
then that'll be great.
For sure.
Black bear we covered.
Yeah. So, I mean, after, let's say we have the grizzly hunt, we get into summer.
Yeah.
That'll be more fishing
Mm-hmm.
and probably when we start ramping up our scouting efforts, right?
Yep. Totally.
Um,
We want to get the trail cam out. You texted me today about maybe going out.
mhm.
We decided to do this instead.
Yeah. So let's try to figure that out over the next week or two. I'm thinking
See if we can find some sheds, and I want to see if the antlers and the skull are still there from your deer.
Yeah.
Thing's cool looking, man. It was just sort of bizarre. The old Triceratops
Yep. Just spiker.
spiker with an extra tine coming out of his
Yeah.
head there.
In August, I'm going to be going out to Vancouver Island, hanging out with Murphy Sport Fishing in Cuyuket Sound.
Yeah.
And we'll be fishing for salmon, halibut, and lingcod,
Nice.
and maybe some snapper and some other species as well. But
Nice.
I'm extremely pumped to do that.
Yeah, I'm jealous. You invited me to come, but didn't work out for me.
Yeah, and I was hoping you'd make it, but I mean, we'll do that eventually. It
Yeah.
won't be the last time I go.
No.
But yeah, my dad went last year, and he is going to go again. So we're going to make a like father-son trip out of it.
Sweet.
And then actually just recently, Randy, my father-in-law, he usually goes up to Winter Harbor, which is like right at the northern tip of Vancouver Island, or
Yeah.
basically where the road ends.
Yeah.
But instead of going on that trip, he decided to join us as well. So
Sweet.
it'll be a good one.
That's cool.
And that's like a lot of guys go out there and do it all themselves. Some of them pull boats over, or they just know somebody with a boat and they do
Yeah.
it themselves. And this is kind of a treat because you're going over there, you're staying in a resort, they're feeding you the whole time.
Yeah.
They'll have like fish packaging services on site
Nice.
and guides and everything. So it comes with a bit of a price tag, but I think it's a bucket list thing that,
It'll be a cool experience, man.
yeah. And you know what? I've heard a lot of guys go and they do avoid that guide experience, but at the same time, that alternative is not always cheap either. And the difference is that you don't have those guides, and the amount of fish you're going to get is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You might go out there and not really get anything.
Yeah.
But if you're going out to places like this, like those guys have teams of people with radar and they know exactly where everything is all the time, right?
It's pretty wild.
So, yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, man. You have to sell me some fish.
For sure. I can just give you some.
Heard you.
I think I'll be coming back with a lot of fish.
I
So,
think so. We'll have a big old fish fry.
yeah. I'll mail you some.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's definitely on my radar for soon. Cool to get a bunch of guys together
Hmm.
and do it.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd come and then we could do a bit of a podcast session. Like,
Well, I was just gonna say that's laying on you. You gotta do some recording on your phone or something.
for sure,
Some from the field or from
Yeah. from the ocean.
the ocean. I'm gonna hold you to that one.
Maybe I can do like snippets, like 15-minute sessions
Yeah,
while
for
we're
sure.
out actually in the boats,
Definitely.
like talking to the guides and
Yeah.
stuff, and then maybe a couple when we're sitting around the fire at the resort too.
for
So
sure, man.
like I said, I never even been to. I feel ashamed saying this. I've never been to Vancouver Island, and I grew up in the
That's
interior
crazy,
of BC.
man.
So
The island is like my second home. I love that place so much.
yeah,
We
So,
try and get out there like once a year.
Yeah,
The ferry's a pain in the ass, but it's worth it.
for sure.
Cool. Yeah. Well, good luck on that one.
Yeah. So then that's end of August, and then we'll be into September. What's going on there?
September 1st, Kelly. Bow season. We've got 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then we just talked about this last episode, archery elk.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one because we usually go out to the Kootenays in October. We did last year, and we're probably going
Yeah.
to make a habit of that. It's hard to go out there twice, right?
Yeah. but we could try around here.
We could try around here.
We know where the cows are, which means
Yeah. I mean, we're willing to hike out into remote spots, so I think that's half the battle.
yeah. I think if we go where you called in the cow last year, there's a video on our Instagram
Yeah.
where this thing just came smashing through the bush right at Kelly, and Kelly scared the shit out of it because he didn't know. Or she
Could
didn't-
almost touched it on the nose.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you called it in, which is pretty cool. So I think if we go hang out in that area and do a bit of bushwhacking,
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be some bulls up there.
I think so.
So let's try that.
Okay.
Done.
So that's archery. The thing with
September
archery
1st.
elk is I've read that if you're calling an elk in, you don't want to call them into like a big open area where you're way on the other side,
Okay.
right? Like you want to call them into a spot where you're going to have a shot when the tree line disappears, because they're
Right.
not just going to walk into the
Yeah,
open
right.
just because, right? They're still going to be somewhat cautious.
So I'm picturing an area that's kind of marshy up there.
Yeah. So
If we went further in
yeah,
the bush
yeah,
and just like in the trees, so we had some cover, and rather than being right on the edge of it, obviously it would make more sense, right?
yeah. So what I'm thinking is, like, say you have this big marsh area. There's actually a photo of that on our Instagram too.
Mhm.
I think there's a photo of you with Oscar.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to be on one side of that marsh and calling the elk in from the other side of that
Right.
marsh. Like, that's just a bad situation,
Right.
because
And
he's
they're
not
not
going to
that
walk
dumb.
right through that
Right.
area, right? So I don't know. Maybe when we get up there, we can plan out an area where there's a more of a subtle opening where they're willing to walk through.
Yeah.
It, but
Where we got the mule deer, Kelly, there's elk in there too. I met an older guy that dedicates every year to
yeah,
hunting. He just goes a little further up the trail than we do before we cut off. So
yeah. And when we were up there hunting mule deer, we heard a bunch of guys calling elk
we
the
did.
whole time too.
Yeah, the
so,
first day we were up there, I think.
yeah. We actually met them we all took off from the parking area at the same time.
These guys didn't seem too stoked that we were there, but didn't really matter.
No, but they were good. Usually when you meet up with guys and you're all getting set up at the bottom of the trail, I'd recommend telling them where you're going.
Yeah.
Not like specifically, but you might say, hey, I'm going about 5 kilometers here and I'm going to take a right.
Yeah.
Just so they know and you don't end up startling each other later, and
Yeah, exactly.
bad situations can happen.
Yeah.
So
No, it's good just to be friendly. Some guys get annoyed, but it's like, fuck, we're all, you can't expect to be the only ones there.
Mhm.
And we were for the most part. It was funny, man. We saw those guys at the trailhead, and you're always like, oh, damn, there's some people here, but
Mhm.
never saw them again.
No.
I think we let them go up ahead of us because I think they were going to take off the trail.
I think they
around-
took a left.
Yeah, and sooner on the trail than we were going to go. So
Yeah.
it worked out. And yeah, we never saw them again. So
Yep.
there's a lot of terrain out there. So
Yep.
we're lucky. So that's cool. Before we jump into something else, Cal, what's on tap? I don't think we mentioned.
We're sticking with the Kettle River Brewing Co. And this is the dry hopped Saison.
It's pretty good.
It's
Actually, it's
great.
really good.
Yeah.
These guys are awesome. This is I've been wanting to try their beer for quite a while. And
Date of birth, October 22nd, 2016.
the labels are cool because they're kind of like handwritten in a way. We'll take a picture before we go, Cal, and we'll put that up on our
Yeah, that's a
Instagram.
good idea.
Yeah, we should start doing that regularly. But yeah, it's really good. And we had one of their beers last time, which was called Under the Weather Stout or something.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best stouts I've ever had.
Yeah, I agree. Notes, Centennial and Citra and Simcoe.
Nice.
I don't know what that means. I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
be completely honest.
Sounds good, though.
Maybe they can let us know.
All right. That brings us to September 15th, which I think we're going to be going for mule deer again, right?
Yeah,
That'll
I'm
be
in for mule deer.
4-point or better at that point.
So we have some new gear in the between us. So as far as mule deer goes, we found, like, you have your spotting scope, and
Yeah, I
that,
got an old one that was my dad's. There's a little tag in there. I think he bought that thing in like 1982 or something like that.
yeah,
Still kicking.
Randy's got the same one.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, The old Bushnell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Norris is trying to get Oscar to play with him.
So that was like once we started hunting mule deer, that was when I realized that spotting like a spotter is so much of
Huge.
an advantage when
Yeah.
you're out there. So I decided to get my own, and I bought a Vortex released a new Razor model.
Yeah.
Nice. So bought that. It's the 65 millimeter and with the Vortex tripod. So I'm looking through that pretty much every day.
We were just out in the parking lot at the recording studio here looking
Yeah, just looking
way
at the
up into the
mountains,
mountains, and it's pretty amazing, man. That's nice. That was a
Yeah.
good purchase.
So I'm so excited to get that out, and that was part of the reason I wanted to go for a hike and just get
Try
the
it
trail
out.
cam set
Yeah.
up too, because I wanted to set it up and look across and see how.
Yeah,
clear.
I was into the idea. I was already out with the dog though, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of getting anxious to throw the backpack on again. And
Well, I got Sunday, Monday off too. If you
oh, sweet, maybe Monday afternoon or something like that.
okay. So yeah, we got the spotter. We got the DeLorme InReach
Yeah,
this year, which is going to come in handy. Just peace of mind. Like one of
Yeah.
the things I always worry about, especially like when you have your own vehicle out there, is are you going to get stuck? Is
Yeah.
your tire going to
Yeah.
go flat? You never know what's going to happen. Is the road going to wash out? And these DeLorme, you can basically text anything you want to
Yeah.
anybody you want.
yeah,
And you can also give your login info to people at home so they can all log in and track you as you're going.
oh, cool. That's
You don't even have to contact them. So they always know where you are.
It's funny, man. Like that thing is awesome, and it could end up saving our lives or something like that.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, man, is I'm kind of weird in the sense is like when we go out, I don't want to like that's one of the things I like is like I don't want to have any contact
Yeah.
with anybody,
Yeah.
right? So I think with that thing, we just sort of have to set a thing as like we'll check in when we need to, but
Yeah.
like don't be texting us all the time and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
So, and it depends on what plan you want to buy.
yeah.
And they can get pricey.
So I
But
saw there's things like you can link in with Facebook. I'm like, fuck that
Yeah, no,
stuff,
no.
man.
no, because then you're also broadcasting where you are, right?
Exactly.
But for me, I picked the $20 plan, which is basically you get X amount of messages per month.
Oh, okay.
Anything beyond that, oh, hold on a second. I can't remember if it's like $1 per message.
Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking if we're out on a hunting trip for 7 days and I have to pay $7 for 7 days worth of check-ins,
yeah.
so be it. It's money well spent.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's all I would do is every day send out a message at dinner time, back at camp. Okay,
yeah.
boom, send it out.
But can they text us back?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
sweet. Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
what I was worried about. I thought there was like two-way communication. I don't want
I'm
that.
not sure. Actually, yeah, I think there is two-way communication. But every message you send back, you get dinged again, right?
Oh, okay.
So we can receive messages, I'm pretty sure, for free. Every time I respond, I have to pay $1. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm not planning on having big conversations.
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
just like back at camp, they might say, okay, end of
Right.
story.
Cool.
Move on to the next day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, for sure. And the DeLorme's cool too because the SOS button, you have to unlock it. So there's a little switch.
Oh,
You have
okay.
to unlock it, then you hit it, and then you actually have to do something again. It'll beep twice, and then you verify it.
Oh,
So there's a couple steps you have to go through to call in an SOS. You're not
Okay.
going to do it by
right.
accident.
That's good.
Because I know some people with spots that have actually
Just hit it in
accidentally,
their pack or something.
yeah, they've accidentally called an SOS repeatedly,
Shit.
and it wasn't even a real situation.
Well, yeah. So that's cool. I think it's way better than the spot. I just want to be
Yeah.
on my own out there, but it's good to just check in and turn it off.
I also picked up a First Light Seek jacket,
Yeah.
which is amazing. I haven't actually hunted in it yet, but I have snowshoed in it, cross country skied in it. I did a bit of hiking in it, and it is very breathable. Something like snowshoeing or cross country skiing, you know how like intense that cardio is,
yeah,
right?
You can turn into a sauna inside your jacket if
Yeah.
it doesn't breathe.
So I've unzipped the pit zips and stuff, and it's been great.
Nice.
It's also like super waterproof. But what we're gonna do is we bought a lot of I picked up some gear over the winter since Christmas. So we'll wait until we get out into the field. We can do an actual review in a hunting situation.
Yeah.
And then we'll let everybody know kind of what happens from there.
But so far, so good, eh?
Yeah. But I usually don't, I'm not interested in purchasing anything unless it has a good reputation
Yep.
as
totally.
it is. And then,
We definitely do our research on everything.
yeah.
We wouldn't talk about it otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
So yeah, that's September 15th and on, right?
Yeah, until October 1st. It's October 1st when it switches to any Mield, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
And that's about when we'll go maybe do this elk thing again, or maybe a little bit earlier, because we ran into some heavy snow this year.
Yeah, that's what we have to determine. But I definitely want to have at least one meal there
Mm-hmm.
done with before we go again, because it just makes me feel better.
Yep. And I'm sure I'm confident now.
I'm pretty confident too.
Um,
I don't want to sound cocky, but I think our odds are at least like 70% that we'll get something up there.
And I think it's because when you do research and you pick your spot,
Yeah.
and once you start learning where they hang out and why, it becomes a lot easier, right?
We lucked out. We found a really good spot.
Yeah. I was just thinking too, like we did get caught in snow.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go up to the Alpine,
Yeah.
or we did, but we got pushed out. We also made a plan the next day to go to the bottom of the snow line because we figured that's where some animals were
Yeah.
hanging out, and sure enough, it worked out. So
yeah.
as much as it was lucky, I also think we had a bit of a plan.
Yeah, for sure.
And if we were in that situation again, I don't think it'd be the worst thing,
No.
right? We know where to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Look for burns that are kind of at the snow line.
Yeah. And you're looking for burns that are sort of like in the 3-year-old range. That's when that stuff starts to come back, and that's what they like, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's what we found. And there was tracks everywhere. It
Yep.
was after a bunch of days of not seeing sign of anything, we really found the right spot in the Kootenays there.
No shortage of gas in trying to find it, though.
Yeah.
It's 4 or 5 days of driving around.
Yeah, for sure. But
amazing.
that wasn't
country.
that far from where the camp was, as it turns
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Random left turn, and
Yeah.
that's all it took. It's amazing how things happen, man.
So is that going to be an elk hunt or a goat hunt this year?
I don't know, man.
Because we started out with goat. We ended up with an elk.
I think it just needs to be open to either.
It should buy both tags.
Yeah.
The good thing about that area is that they're over the counter, both of them.
Thing is, man, we could go in September and hit snow again. It's just like
Yeah.
flip of the coin. We could go
Yeah.
in October and not hit snow.
Yep.
So I think we just need to pick that. That was a good time to go, I think, just schedule-wise and everything.
Yep.
So,
The good thing about goat, I feel, in areas like that is there's lots of cliff faces, so you can actually use your spotter and scope out some faces that are quite
yeah.
a long ways away.
For sure.
So you're kind of elk hunting, but on the side, you're always looking at these faces just to see if there's a white blob sitting on one. Right?
yeah.
And then instantly your day can change.
Everything is open. Antlerless are open that time. You got a doe, a whitetail doe.
Yeah.
But we could also go for bear, elk, mountain goat,
Yeah.
mule deer. Like everything is open at that point. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of the cool part is it's just like we can be flexible as far as changes in the weather and stuff like that. So
Yeah. But there's one wild card that could change all these plans.
what's that?
LEH
Yeah.
for moose.
So
And
this is one thing we haven't discussed at all is where are we going to apply this year?
Yeah, I think we should go further north,
I think so too.
either Caribou or even further.
Some of you guys might have seen I was up in sort of central BC, northern BC for us from here, but I saw so many moose up there, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was up near Barkerville, which is a pretty cool place. So it was kind of an eye opener when you see flashing signs that are moose warnings on the road and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They're all over the place up there. So yeah, we'll have to pick an area, check out the odds, and see what happens. I think we need to check with the other guys too and see what they're thinking. Garrett and Kevin, if they're willing to change in the plans
Yep.
or not. You're focusing on pouring a beer over there.
Pouring a little. There's just a little bit left. I'm trying to split it here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm not too sure about the whole limited entry thing. We'll just have to look at odds and areas and
Yeah.
see what we want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to drive an extra little bit to bump up our odds.
Yeah.
And I think we're learning that as we go. Sometimes when you first start in this hunting business, it feels like places are a lot further than they are once you've had experience.
Yeah.
So,
And the thing is, man, is like I don't have that cabin anymore, but my neighbors are still there, and they said anytime you guys want to come, and if we just came up with a wall tent set up
Yeah.
at their place, there's also a really nice campground there too that we could set up at.
yeah, I'm game.
So I know where we could go there. Like it's hard to go to a new area and be like, okay, you have to
Mhm.
get a lay of the land and figure it all out again. So
Yep.
you're starting from zero, which is like that's the toss up. Is like if we go back to the Kootenays, we've been there, and if we get the limited entry for the grizzly bear, we're gonna know the area even more.
Mhm.
Again, if we apply for a limited entry for a moose in an area we've never been to, then we're starting all over, and success rate goes down
Mhm.
unless we get some luck on our side. So
Yep.
hard to say. But
See what happens with that one.
other than that,
We can't really control that one other than where we're planning to hunt, right?
yeah,
So, but personally, I'd be willing to give up the other, like if we had conflicting dates,
yeah,
hopefully we could move the other ones and still make them all work.
all
but
do, yeah,
I would just for getting a moose, I'd give up the other ones at
Yeah.
least for this year.
yeah,
Because I just think it's such a massive animal and
fuck yeah,
get your meat for the year, and
yeah.
we got to get one under our belt.
I know it's a goal.
Thing with moose hunting is you don't want to you can't really backpack moose hunt. Like you can if you're hunting near a river and you have inflatables, or
Yeah,
if you're near a road and you have a truck or an ATV or something like that. But I don't know if you can really treat it the same way as a mule deer or even an elk.
yeah. I don't know. We got manpower though.
Yeah,
Might be a few trips.
yeah.
I think it was
It's doable. It's just
I think it was
such a
on,
big animal.
Adam Greentree. He's an Australian bow hunter,
Yeah.
and I think it was just on Joe Rogan, Ryan Callahan, and what's the other guy from First Light? We're just on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yep.
And I think that's where they were talking about him. But he shot an elk somewhere in the States, and it took him 4 days to pack it out
Right.
by himself. So
Which is crazy.
yeah,
And
So-
he was going miles both
Yeah,
ways for
yeah.
4 days.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's doable. I think it would be
Kenton.
Kenton. That's right. We should get him on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be doable. It just would be miserable, but it's part of the. I like the shitty parts too. I just feel like you gotta have some of that too. Can't all be easy. So
Yep.
we'll see. But I think we covered everything I wanted to go over, and we've got a bit of a plan because we haven't talked about this off the mic. So you guys are getting to hear us sort of figure out our year.
Let's talk a little bit about hunting licenses, and
Okay, cool.
actually, let's also mention the BC Wildlife Federation Conservation
Yeah,
app.
there's a conservation app. So is it available for?
It's not on Android yet,
Okay,
but
it's on iPhone.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody out there doing something they shouldn't be it poaching, polluting,
Mud bogging
in areas they
spots,
shouldn't
yeah.
be, then there's a pretty cool app that allows you to take a photo. It'll stamp it through satellite. You don't actually have to be in cell phone range or anything like that. It'll put your coordinates in there and send it off to conservation, and they'll deal with whoever there. So if you can get a
Mhm.
license plate or anything like that,
Yep.
then you're doing a good thing. And I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast, but last year when it was bear season, I went out on my own and I came across these guys mud bogging in a really sensitive area. I was with Oscar,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just had turned dark. And
There's signs all over the
there's
place
signs
that
all
say not to do that.
So they had their windows down. I could hear them talking. They were being idiots. And basically, I came right out of the bush, out of nowhere, in the dark, and I was standing there with a rifle. I didn't have it off my back or anything like that. But they finally saw me, and I scared the shit out of them. It was pretty hilarious. It was too dark to get a license plate number or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I freaked them out, and they took off. So that's good, I guess, because first thing I heard was, "Holy shit, that guy's got a gun," and the other guy said something about like, "Oh, this is like a $10,000 fine," or I can't remember what the fine actually is. So they knew they weren't supposed to be doing it, and they took off as fast as they could. So
Yeah.
at least I freaked them out a little bit. But
Yeah. Why even do it in the first place?
Yeah,
like,
it's so
really, was it
stupid,
worth
man.
that much?
It's not that
was
fun.
it that? Yeah.
They're starting to find designated areas for these things. So I
Yeah.
don't get it, man. And I have zero patience for any of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
check out that app if you're in BC and do your part and report these people, because we don't need those people doing stuff like that. They need to be held accountable for it. So
Yeah. I mean, there's, I don't know. There's people like that. Even the folks on ATVs and snowmobiles that are not respecting nature and the landscape.
yeah,
Like, there's ways to use that stuff and be respectful, and there's ways where people just have no consideration.
yeah,
So
yeah.
bugs
Cal,
me.
I got like 5 minutes here before I
Yep.
gotta roll. Let's go over the licensing change for BC guys. If you're not from BC, you can tune out.
Yeah, so
Fast
last year we had the LEH that switched over to the electronic applications.
Yeah.
This year, the hunting licenses will also be electronic.
Yeah,
The species licenses are still going to be hard copy, but you can order them online and they'll mail them to you.
yeah.
Or you can go to the store and buy one.
Makes
And
more
it's-
sense to me to go to the store. Cause
Yeah,
have
you
them
can get
in
them
your
quicker.
hand. Yeah.
Right. But it sounds like there's going to be barcodes on those.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say you get pulled over by a conservation officer, you won't have to have your hunting license with you. They'll have access to go through your stuff online.
Yeah.
But you will have to have your species license with you, just as you do now. But you won't. It sounds like those booklets aren't going to exist anymore. So I'm kind of interested to see, like, what's the format physically of those species
the
licenses.
way the text is there, it's kind of misleading, because it sounds like you will still have your species booklet, but there's another part that makes it sound like you won't. So
Yeah.
I don't get it. To be determined, I guess. We'll find out.
Because right now you buy your hunting license, which
Yeah.
is the book,
Yeah.
and then you fill it up with stickers
Yeah.
that make up species licenses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to take away the booklet, but you're still going to have to buy the species licenses. So I don't know if those will just be one pagers that you carry around in your wallet,
know.
or what that's going to look like.
I'm confused. Yeah. I felt like you didn't, maybe you just didn't have to carry around your hunter number. I don't want to spread misinformation here and make this more confusing than it is, but just read the rest of what we got there.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we really had to now, because it was all written down in your booklet.
Right. I always carried it anyway. So
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's go to the BC government site there. Just
Post
search
it on
BC
Twitter
hunting
or whatever,
license
too.
and go on there.
Yeah.
There's notices, and I'm sure most of you guys that already have licenses will get the email. But
Yeah.
the thing about licenses that I've mentioned on a couple forums is, like, Idaho and Wyoming are actually pushing. There's some fish and game clubs that are pushing for increased license fees.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind.
I feel like $15 is kind of cheap for deer anyways.
I know it's I like to tell people who don't hunt that, you know what I mean, like it cost me $15 to go out there.
Yeah.
Like, really, for a deer? Of course it costs a lot more when you consider,
$25 for an elk.
yeah, when you consider everything else that goes into a hunt, but still it's like add an extra couple bucks, that adds up.
Yeah.
But I think that what needs to be done is the money needs to be properly put back into conservation. I don't think it's necessarily.
I think if BC found a way to actually collect that money that wasn't in some type of trust fund and then divide it into who knows what,
Yeah.
if they treated it like the fisheries where all the money went into hunting itself or conservation,
Yeah,
and people would probably be more willing to pay higher license
I
fees.
think so.
But my point was that most folks are spending thousands in optics. So
Yeah,
I know a license isn't a guarantee of an animal, but
no, I don't feel bad.
I'd be willing to pay 100% more for these licenses just if I knew that all that money was going to.
Yeah, I
life.
think that's the catch is if
Yeah.
it was all going there. Jesse Seaman opened up our eyes to this whole situation,
Yeah,
and I think we need to get him in again and talk about this in more
Yeah.
detail.
for sure.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys can find us on Instagram and maybe send us some comments or even email, or we got our website, right?
yeah,
So we're interested to hear your comments on that one.
yeah. Reach out to us, rookiehunter.com. Everything's there.
Cool.
All right. Kelly, are we going to try to do this more regular? Cody Rich was giving us shit for not having a regular podcast. So maybe let's commit to 3 a month.
Sure. We were doing pretty good until January.
Yeah, we were. So we'll try and do it more regularly. We want to. It's just
Yeah.
lining things up and
For sure.
getting guests in and all that. It's not easy. So we'll do our best.
Sounds
See how
good.
it goes.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers, guys.